with this Big 12 SEC challenge, I know with the men it's always a 2-year engagement. So are y'all contracted for this thing next year and have a game at home?
Well, it ends up being 3 years because they only have 10 teams. We got 12, so we don't get a game next year. We got to get a game the following year. So I mean, I think it's a great opportunity for us to play against a conference that's we've been 1 and 2 top conferences in the country over the last few years. So I think it's a great way to pit each other and have each other play a great competition.
With Texas, looking at the field, what do they present? What kind of problems can they give you?
Yeah, they're big. They're big. They're probably bigger than us in the post because they have a lot of post players. I think they're athletic. I think they got a great point guard that runs the show. She knows how to get other people the ball. She knows how to get her, create shots for herself. And then they compete. They compete for 40 minutes. They like to get up and down the floor and play in transition. They don't have a whole lot of sets, but for what they do have they know they create great spacing out there on the floor, and they know the shots that they want.
You've got the gaudy record, the gaudy stats, but as a coach, what do you see that this team needs to improve on?
Defensively, I just think we're a work in progress. And probably at this stage of the game, you want your offense a lot more advanced than your defense. We really haven't had the luxury to be that way because we've had to create some offense from our defense. But this team is a little different, and we're bringing it to their attention, and they're getting better with it.
After the Louisville game, Dawn, a couple of the national analysts, Lachina and Rebecca Lobo, said that's Final Four team. South Carolina looks like the best team in the country. I know you can kind of hear that, but being this early in the season, how much do you pay attention to it?
We don't pay attention to it. It wasn't. I think potentially we're a really good basketball team, but we're going to take one game at a time. No one's been talking South Carolina, until we beat Louisville. Obviously, I don't think they thought we were going to win the game. That's number one, and we played well enough to impress them to say those things. But we're going to really just concentrate on us and try to continue to get better, and and let the experts say what they want to say.
You've got veterans here who have been in that situation. How did they handle coming back on the plane from Springfield in these last couple of days?
They handled it like they probably handle every road trip, which is they got a good nap. They got a good nap. They're not, they don't get too high with the highs. I think what this team, does do is they focus in on the task at hand. When the competition is one of a challenge, they lock into that. And I think that's a really a mark of a good team. Great teams don't care what competition it is. They're just trying to get wins. I think we're progressing to that. We're progressing to being that, lock in, focus in each day in practice, no matter who we're playing.
With Texas having a pro-second matchup, how important will it be for Alicia and Kayla and other guards to kind of be on their game?
I think it's important for us to continue being balanced. I think we brought it to our players' attention today. If you look at our post players, Kiki, Lay, and Asia, they shoot almost 70% from the floor. So when it's all said and done, we can always, be calculating and get it down to people that are shooting 70% from the floor. And everybody else can be themselves. The better they are, the better, our perimeter play will be. But, I think they've done a great job at just sharing the ball and, finding shots for themselves. And, everybody's playing at a good pace and place.
You've, I guess, the last couple of years, you've talked about how this team doesn't get too high or too low. Is that something that you are able to deal with in practice to sort of, is that where that sort of manifests itself, where you keep them on edge, I guess, for lack of a better term, in practice here?
Yeah, I do. I think sometimes they can come in here a little complacent, and I know I have to just kind of nudge them and let them know that, we got a game, we got to focus in. But they've done extremely well, and I probably look for stuff a little bit more than, when we're preparing for games, because I'm a little amped up, and I want to, I want to make sure we're covering everything. I want to make sure they have a great mindset, as we prepare for games. But it doesn't help to kind of get under their skin a little bit. Doesn't hurt.